Tonight we are talking about your journal as your confidant and also your journal as a coach. This one carries a lot of weight. It's kind of vulnerable to share this because I don't think I have shared it before, even though if you have taken a class from me, this is something that has happened right in front of your eyes and you wouldn't have known it. Your journal is a confidant, right? It's a place that is a safe keeper. It's somewhere to keep your secrets. And one of the ways that I teach journaling is, I talk about awakening the secret self or hiding your secrets in plain sight, because so much of life is about telling the truth to ourselves first and foremost. I remember, my impression of therapy when I had gone through therapy is I realized that, and coaching and any other kind of experience that I've had where it was a relational container, I realized that they were relationships or spaces in which I got to test my new identity. So when I was in therapy, I got to test being someone who told the truth. I got to test what that feels like. Or in a new relationship, I get to test what it feels like to speak up when something has landed on a tender spot instead of just, like pretending it didn't and then being resentful of it. So your journal is no different. It is a place to kind of like test what it feels like in your body to speak something that you haven't yet spoken out loud. So one of the techniques that I teach is asemic writing. And I did not know it was called asemic writing. When I when I started to do this, I was just writing I was just hiding secrets in plain sight. And I was using what I thought was I was just calling it scribble writing. But I'll just give you a very quick demo of what asemic writing looks like. So, asemic writing is when you take any, I'm using a black marker at the moment. This is what my name looks like when I am in control of the pen. Well, pretty much in control of the pen. It's legible. Amanda, So if I write... Okay, so... Right, so that's my normal writing. But I can write both of those things now. And they're the same words, but you would never know. And that's just a way of writing. So I developed that way of writing as a way of telling myself things in the journal, saying things to myself that I did not feel that I had the capacity to say out loud. One of the things that I have been doing for years as I've been teaching asemic writing, I have been saying to people, I'm going to write a secret in front of you now. And you're like, I dare anybody here to decipher what I have said. And every single time what I wrote in the journal was, I am gay. Or I like girls. I came out every time and nobody knew that that's what I was saying to myself on the page. But I have been saying that in my journal for years. So this is what I mean by a confidant. It doesn't have to mean that you have a secret like, oh, I'm gay. It doesn't have to mean that you have a secret at all. It could just mean like, no, like practicing saying no to your dad, practicing saying no to your boss, anything at all. You get to do that in your journal and see what that feels like in your body and work through that safely in the safe container, the relational space that is your journal. So that is what I mean by a confidant, is that you get to practice who you are becoming in your journal in a space that is just for you, and you get to do it creatively. So then we have the coach. The coach is the part who asks questions. So if I am rattling over a question or, that question over my head, let's say of sexuality or whatever, the journal is where I get to practice different techniques, let's say, that a coach might practice. So I will often run through a CBT model. In my book, I will often run through a step 10 from the 12 steps. I will often run through a communication model. So I will often take a model that I've learned over time and use it in my journal like a scratch pad, literally like a formula. So, okay, when this is the circumstance, this is my thought, this is my feeling, these are the behaviors, and I can actually, pull things apart. So I can actually coach myself through the journal. You can see how that would matter in terms of first of all, I can use my journal to speak my truth, but also I can use my journal to question why that truth is so hard to embody. I just love how it can, hold me and also grow me at the same time. What I want you to take is that the version of me who has emerged from the pages of my journal isn't a version that I imagined. When I went into this, I was following this trajectory of this, caterpillar becoming a butterfly. I imagined in my mind, because of the way that I am still brainwashed by, a kind of a capitalist patriarchy, get your shit together kind of a culture, I thought that my butterfly was going to be the one who got her shit together. So this was going to be the accumulation of all my coaching. I was going to master time. I was going to master money. I was going to have success. I was going to do, master fucking laundry. I was going to get my shit together. That's what I thought my butterfly was going to be. And it turned out my butterfly was just me. Literally just becoming myself beyond all of the bullshit and all of the rules and all of the expectations and the models that I was trying to inhabit, but just weren't me. You can't work on something you're not aware of, so telling yourself the truth is so important, and your journal is a way to practice that, and then helping yourself remove whatever the obstacles are in the way of you living your truth is how your journal operates as a coach. And you might even think, well, I don't have any secrets. I'm not gay, or I'm not this, or I don't have any secrets. No, you mightn't have any secrets, but I would be shocked if you didn't have shame. And that's what this technique is really about. It's about bypassing shame. It's about allowing you to tell yourself the truth without shame hanging over your shoulder, lurking over your shoulder, going, what did you write that for? Or anything at all, because shame will be the imaginary audience. And so for me, let's say, so much of my practicing telling myself the truth was actually because this truth was shamed out of me. I mean, after all, I am a 50-year-old Irish woman. I mean, hello, you know what I mean? The shame literally has been planted in us generations ago. There's lots of things that I have spilled into my journal that might not qualify as a secret, or might not qualify even as risky to say. But, there can be a very, very long gap between telling yourself the truth and actually moving into and living your truth. The only reason any truth about me was ever a secret was shame. So that is my anti-shame technique.